What not to do on a first date. Making a good impression is not too tough, but it is vital. There is plenty of time for you to be ready for that day. In general, it's simple to imagine what you should and shouldn't do on your first date. However, you can assume that everyone will abide by these rules. Follow these tips to prevent a disaster on your first date if you don't want it to turn out badly. Number 12. Do not comment on other people. It's just you and your date playing this game. Put no third party in the way between the two of you. Talking about your buddies or the woman who is seated next to you is not appropriate here. Making comments about other people won't produce the outcomes you want. The best case scenario is that you will need to go on another first date. Number 11. Maintain modesty. Do you wash yourself with money? Drive an Aston Martin, do you? You can, but don't insist on it right now. Okay, money is important to women, but you will have plenty of opportunities to flaunt your wealth soon. Please refrain from doing that on your first date if you want to develop a relationship with your date. Really, is there any kind of relationship that isn't dependent on wealth and fancy cars? Just curious. Number 10. Do not cut off or slash his story. There are countless methods to break up a conversation, but because it's your first date, please refrain from doing so. People can become really frustrated and angry whenever someone tries to interrupt them. It's disrespectful, and you should always treat your partner with respect. On a first date and throughout a relationship, being a good listener is a virtue. Number 9. Don't mess about it on your phone. Yeah, that's right. You went on a date to prove to your friends that you have a potential date somewhere in the world. Interesting, huh? You might also be a highly successful businessman, but you can put that aside for 2 to 3 hours. Turn off or muffle your phone, or better yet, leave it at home. It's crazy to keep interrupting your chat to check Facebook or take a call from a business. There are 24 hours in a day, use some of them for your date. Hey, don't forget, it's your first date. Number 8. Don't judge your date. I am aware that you have always desired to serve as a judge, but this is not the appropriate setting. Never publicly criticize your date. Even if you disagree with something, your goal should not be to change the other person. Keep it to yourself only. In the end, you might decide that this isn't the ideal person for you to be in a relationship with. There is no justification to insult him / her. Number 7. Don't just say yes or no. What are you up to? This is not a quiz game. It's okay to be anxious, but hold on a second. What motivated you to go on a date? It's not just you who is curious about your date. The person sitting in front of you also wants to know his / her date. I promise you it's true. Don't worry about word counts when you share your stories. Excite her or his fantasy and everything will go much more smoothly. Number 6. Don't go on and on about your previous relationships. If you bring up an old relationship too frequently, it may be a sign that you haven't moved on and aren't prepared for a new one. Don't go overboard when using your ex as an example. Ask your date about his or her ex as well to maintain balance. Knowing one another is the goal, not talking about your ex-partners. Number 5. Never talk exclusively about yourself. The first date is an opportunity for you to converse and get to know one another. It is not a date if you simply discuss yourself without allowing her an opportunity to tell her tales. It's an address. It's not a demonstration of your flawlessness. Give your date a chance to find it on their own. Number 4. Eat nothing offensive before the date. You'd been anticipating that time for the past 5 days, but your mother prepared your favorite dish, which contains garlic. Disaster. All of these obnoxious staff, garlic, and onions are prohibited. Please refrain from eating anything smelly if you want your date to go well. Right, you don't want to start torturing your date as soon as you speak. Your date may always conclude with a kiss. The initial kiss? Huh. Do you enjoy sour kisses? Number 3. Never split the bill. This is a big no and is solely for guys. A stinky man is not someone whom any woman wants to date. How can he be in charge of his wife's and their relationship's future if he won't even pay for their first date? Be a gentleman, pay what she asks for, and never object to the bill. It may be expensive, but it's really necessary. Number 2. Never be late. Quite crucial. Just picture yourself waiting for your date in the rain and cold. You won't like it, I'm sure. Therefore, be on time for both your first date and subsequent occasions. No matter what, you got to arrive on time. It's a grave error that bodes ill for the future. Being late gives your date the impression that she or he is just another guy or female. Are you putting any thought into this date? There is no justification for that one. Number 1. Do not go out dirty. Almost 29% of individuals, largely guys, go on dates without taking a bath, which is why this point is here. Amazing, huh? Women may be less likely than males to neglect to shave their legs and other portions of their bodies, which I won't describe here, but the number is still quite high. So let's please reduce these percentages to 0.
with